everybody, this is Catherine from Schoolmarm Style, and I'm here to do my very first Ask the Schoolmarm video blog. So the other day, my friend Gail sent me a message asking me for a little bit of advice with belts. She said that she hadn't owned a belt since 1980, and she had just bought one and she wasn't really sure what to do with it. So most of you guys who've been following me know that I'm a bit of a beltaholic and I use them all the time. And I decided to do a little video to show her and to show you some of the ways that I use them. Today we're going to talk about 3 different kinds of belts. We're going to talk about cloth belts, which you can use scarves for as well. We're going to talk about big wide belts, which are really some of my favorites, and I especially like them when they're a little stretchy. And then we're going to talk about skinny belts, which are one of my favorite things to thrift and something that you can pick up pretty easily and pretty cheaply at any of your Goodwills or Salvation Armies. So you can see right now I put on a dress that it's kind of pretty, but it definitely has no shape through here, and that's the thing about belts, is that I really like them to give me more of a defined waist in everything that I wear. I'm a little short-waisted, so being able to use a belt to kind of pull things together and create 2 parts of my body works really well for me. So we're going to start with a cloth belt because they're pretty much the easiest and they're kind of a good way to break into belting if you're not sure about it. And with all these belts, the most important thing is finding your natural waist. So if you kind of go down your body, it's the part where you're usually thinnest, right between your rib cage and your hips, and finding that waist will help you out a lot. So basically, cloth belt, wrap it around, give it a quick little tie, smooth everything out a little bit. It's hard to do without a mirror. And there you go. You have a waist, you have a top, you have a bottom, and it works pretty well. You could take these and you could play around with tying bows. And you can use a cloth belt or a scarf belt to add color or to add pattern to any of your outfits, and it would work really, really well. The second type of belt that I really love are these elastic, wide belts. And I love them because not only do they give you a really nice waist, but you can use them to kind of help create shapes that wouldn't work otherwise. I have a couple skirts that are a little bit too big that sometimes I'll pull them up a little high to create more of a high waist effect and use an elastic belt to hold everything in place. And again, you just want to go in and find your natural waist and kind of sit this right there. With an elastic belt, you might get a little bit of puffiness, either on the top or the bottom, but you can usually kind of pull things around and make everything sit smoothly. For me, just because of my size and the way that my body works, I avoid adding a lot of volume up at the top. Some girls who are longer waisted or taller than I am will sometimes wear their belts a little bit lower and kind of puff them a little bit. But for me, that just really doesn't work because it makes my top half of my torso look teeny, teeny, tiny, which is not a look that I'm going for. So the elastic belt, it's pretty wide. It works really, really well for creating like a 50s hourglass style look. And it definitely pulls everything together and holds everything in a little bit, so it makes me feel a little more confident. And the third belt is a skinny belt. Now these skinny belts, a lot of people will get them for holding up their pants, which absolutely works, and I sometimes use them for that as well. But when you use them for holding up your pants, you're actually working with a bigger belt because your hips are a lot bigger than your waist. So I make sure that I buy my belts in a variety of sizes. This is one that really only works on my waist. But basically, again, you want to find that waist, add your belt, wiggle things around a little bit, and there you go. You have a nice top half, bottom half separation. I've seen a lot of girls who are wearing 2 skinny belts at once. It's something that I haven't tried yet. And also there's a special trick for working with a belt that's too big that I'll give you guys a link to, because Kyla did an incredible post a while back, a video blog on how she uses a belt that is too big for her to use the holes on, but she actually can make it work and stay, and that's something that I use all the time. Now I have one more thing to show you guys. So right now it's the beginning of it's the end of summer, but I'm definitely starting to think about fall, starting to think about cardigans and how to make those work. So here's one of my favorite cardigans, and you can see now that between the long drapey cardigan and the loose flowy dress, I definitely have no shape whatsoever, which is a look, but definitely not what I'm going to try and work with today. I'm going to take my big fat belt. I'm going to belt it over everything, and it will look a little messy at first. So I'm going to work on getting the dress all laid out nicely, work on pulling the cardigan over and around. Now as you can see, now I have a little bit more of a pulled together cardi over dress kind of look. You could also take the cardigan and you could wrap it so that you have this like wraparound style sweater that works pretty well. You can use the belt to hold it. If you just take one side and wrap it, then wrap the other side around. You can see how you can change the look that way too. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my little tutorial on belts. I'm giving you some links down at the bottom of this post for some other girls who wear belts really, really well. And I'd love to do some more of these video blogs, so if you have any questions, you can leave a comment, or you can email me at thrifty schoolmarm@hotmail.com. And I'd love to answer your questions.